Hey guys, I'm Lindsay and welcome to my first ever video. I imagine I'll look back at this and cringe, but for now, here we are. Especially because at the end of this video, I'm going to let you know what the scale said first thing this morning when I got on. The goal of this channel is to be all truth, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and I will be real with you. There's going to be a lot of ugly. Before I get started, just give a little bit of a trigger warning for pregnancy loss. It is very brief in this episode, but it is mentioned, so I wanted to make sure to warn everyone. So let's check. Who am I? Why am I here? And why do I think you guys care? All the questions will be answered, hopefully. Well, my name is Lindsay, and I am a full-time working mom, wife, daughter, sister, and bariatric patient. Did that last one catch you off guard? Because I know. Who would have thought by looking at me, right? Have you ever heard the term bariatric? It's just a medical term that relates to the treatment of obesity. I have been diagnosed morbidly obese, which is referred to as class 3 obesity more frequently these days. There are 3 classes of obesity, 1, 2, 3. So I am definitely a go big or go home kind of person, apparently. If you're anything like me, then you probably mistakenly use bariatric interchangeably with the term geriatric, and they are definitely not the same thing. Oopsies. Now, as you maybe can tell, I am a complete weirdo. I love to know anything and everything I can regarding things that affect my everyday life. My goal, my plan for this channel is going to be dedicated to all things bariatric, my whole bariatric journey, my struggles with mental health, weight loss, and just me trying to figure out how to be the best I can be for myself and my family. Before we go any further, here's the obligatory help ya girl out and hit that subscribe button. And then let's buckle up and get ready for story time. So, growing up, I was a pretty active kid. I'm from the generation where you stayed out until the streetlights came on, and kids were constantly rolling around the neighborhood on various wheeled devices, whether it be bicycles, rollerblades, skateboards, scooters, kind of all the things. I also played volleyball pretty competitively for about a decade, and I loved it. When I got to high school, I would do conditioning in the morning before school started. We'd shower in the lockers and then go to class. And then after school, I would go to practice until 5, 6 o'clock. And then over the summer, I would go to volleyball camp. I loved volleyball. I still love watching it. I did have a dream of making it to the Olympics at one point. I'm going to go ahead and give you a spoiler alert. That did not work out. I was injury prone. I have a bad shoulder and an even worse knee. And I started to really battle some mental health demons my sophomore year, going into my junior year. So I ended up quitting sports. By my senior year, I had gained a little bit of weight, which at the time felt like a ton of weight. Of course, I was a teen girl in the early 2000s, and I feel like that point in time, women and teen girls just had such an unreasonable an unreasonable idea of what their bodies should look like. So shortly after I graduated, I started working out again. I would watch what I ate, and I probably lost about 20 pounds or so. I did get pregnant at 20, gained about 65 pounds with that pregnancy, and I gave birth when I was 21. I was fortunate to lose about 85 pounds after that, and I really did feel great, but unfortunately, I was in an awful marriage which is a whole other story, whole other video. But I did begin to gain some weight again after that. I ended up going through a divorce where I lost some dead weight. And I just kind of continued to yo-yo with my weight. I was never a binge eater or anything at that point, but I also wasn't following any crazy strict diets. After a couple years, I started working out pretty intensely. I went vegetarian for about 6 months, and I ended up reaching the lowest weight I had since my low point in high school, and I had lost about 65, 70 pounds. I ended up getting remarried a few years later, and I went from this broke, single working mom to a military wife, a stay-at-home mom that had just moved to the beach and was away from the place that I had grown up, kind of the place where all my family was. Of course, it was also the place where my life, I felt like, had really hit rock bottom, so it was definitely a bittersweet time in my life. And I got pregnant pretty quickly after we got married, but I did unfortunately end up losing that baby. This was kind of the moment where my life changed forever, and I'll talk more about that in a different video because I don't want this to go on forever and ever. But it was a pretty traumatic experience. It caused a lot of chaos to go on internally with my hormones, just my body, and then not to mention, it just brought up a lot of that mental health struggles that I had from when I was younger. I did gain about 90 pounds within that year after my miscarriage, and I was also diagnosed with PCOS, which is also polycystic ovary syndrome. Again, planning on doing a video on that as well. So the beginning of August, ironically, will be 11 years since I experienced my miscarriage and it really experienced that weight gain that I just haven't been able to lose. Also, ironically, August 5th, I will be having my gastric bypass surgery. And I always think it's so funny how life just comes full circle sometimes. And I don't really want to ever forget a single step of this process or why I'm doing it. And that's why I'm videoing this. If nobody watches it, nobody gets anything from it, that's fine. But it's therapeutic for me. And I wanted just to share a bit about who I am, why I'm here, and hopefully I can relate to some of you out there and we can support each other. That's why I hope you care, and I hope you'll continue to come back and hear my story and share on this journey and share my story so that maybe if you don't relate, there's someone else who can, and so that we don't feel so alone. And also come back for some laughs because I am anything but a serious person despite the experiences I have had in my life. I feel so strongly that I want to remove the stigma around weight loss surgeries for one, mental health two, and the tough topic of miscarriages and infertility and hormones and kind of all the things that can make us feel unworthy as women. Nothing is going to be off limits here. So for my grand finale, I will share my weight from this morning. I did weigh in at a whopping 341 pounds. That is right, 341, which, fun fact, I was doing some Googling. That is the average weight of a speckled bear from South America, which is also another fun fact. These are one of only 2 types of bears that don't attack people. So, guess we have that in common as well. But yeah, that's a fun fact that you didn't know you needed to know. Let's see what animal I'll be next week. Just kidding. Unless maybe this is my thing. Maybe instead of, I'm just gonna, compare myself to some random animal every weigh-in, like they do for pregnancy milestones, like, 6 weeks, your baby's the size of a pea pod, and next week I'll be like, I am now the size of an ostrich or a squid. I don't know. Something like that. Should that be my thing? Let me know in the comments. I'm so sorry. You guys are never gonna actually come back. Anyways, I hope you learned a lot of useless information about random animals and my life. Again, videos that I'm planning on making are going to discuss my mental health journey, which has been very interesting as of the last year specifically. My miscarriage experience, which it was also unique and I would not wish on anyone. Plus, I also plan on talking about the first memory I have of feeling fat or just self-conscious about my body, and also more about why I chose to have this weight loss surgery and kind of the steps I've taken to get here so far, as well as what I'm expecting going forward. Let me know in the comments which video you want me to start with. If there's one, or if you're just like, I don't know, you're a hot mess, just pick one yourself. But thanks for sticking around. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe, and Loser Lindsay is out.